When you receive your stove, the control assembly that mounts on the top of the stove will be inside the hopper. Simply take the 4 screws that's on the back of the stove and mount the control assembly on the top. Okay, so after you have your control assembly mounted on the top of the stove, it's time to plug in your data cord to the bottom of the assembly. And as you can tell, it runs down inside the stove. Also inside the hopper, you'll have your power cord, which simply pushes in to the back of the stove. Then you have your on-off power switch here. So after you have your power cord plugged into your outlet, you have your data wire on, your assembly mounted. You want to ensure that your thermostat wire is sticking out of the metal bracket a good inch or so to ensure that it's reading a good temperature at the back of the stove. Once you have everything done, it's time to turn on your main power switch, which we have already done. The stove is in the off mode now, but we do have our lid switch showing on the screen, as well as our vacuum switch is showing. The stove is in the manual mode. It's recording 69 degrees at the back of the stove. It has today's date and time on the top of the screen. It also has 5 heat settings, okay? So in our building, we were 4,200 square feet, so we typically burn it on level 1 or 2. If we need a really quick heat up, we'll bump up the stove to level 4 or 5 to get initial quick heat. To change from manual to temp or weekly settings, just simply press this button and you'll see it goes from temperature. On the temperature mode, it says that we want the building to be 76. So as you can tell, the stove automatically bumped itself up to level 3. If I want a lower temperature, I just simply push the down arrow to whatever desired temperature that I want the house to be. If I want to program weekly settings, I hit the button and it'll show weekly. Okay? On that, the stove must be in the off mode to perform all your weekly settings. Once you have all your weekly programming in place, you must hit your remote control to lock them in. Okay? Here is your 7-hour timer button. Here. And then this is your keypad to lock in all your settings. You save more pellets by running in the manual mode. And depending on your house level size, typically number 1 setting is fine for up to like 1,500 square feet. If you're going 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, you want to burn on level 2, 2,000 to 2,500 level 3. Each level represents 500 square feet of heat. So as you can tell, we're in the standby mode now. So I'm going to power the stove on and the stove will start its burning process.